Good morning. Welcome to Science Saturday, March 29th. A little different take on science today. We're going to be looking at a study from Gallup Workplace. Author is Jim Harter. This was released in Gallup Workplace on March 25th, so just a few days ago. And it talks about why are people working less. What we're going to be talking about in this is engagement, burnout, value shifting, a really interesting take on things, and leadership that hasn't adapted to the times, the people, the environments that we're working in. So let's get into this. Look at some pictures and talk about what is going on. So first, the work week is declining. You can blame Tim Ferriss if you want, or blame the type of work that we're doing, but the average hours worked per week has declined from mid 40s down to just barely above 40 in 2024. People are wanting more work-life balance. I'm going to put that in quotes. Work-life balance is an interesting conundrum. Should we have work-life balance? Should we have intentional moments of unbalance in order to really make progress and then take a break? So there are some different hypotheses about why or how we should be looking at work-life balance. But here in their survey, they did find that the desire for a better work-life balance was influencing the work week. People putting a higher priority on well-being and their home life versus work. You also have people that are feeling more detached from their employers, and that relates to then employee engagement. So we'll talk about more why that's happening in just a minute. Burnout is a big one. So people wanting to do a good job, engaging in their work, feeling like they have to be there, and that feeding that burnout cycle. Burnout, as the article states, tends to increase once you get over 45 hours of work. So whether you are an employee, an owner, a manager, a leader, keep in mind that risk for burnout is going to increase as you get over that 45 hours. It becomes even more important to start being intentional about taking care of yourself. I think the biggest takeaway from the burnout piece, secondary to the health of the person, is that when people feel burnt out, they don't take as good care of the client or the customer. And that can then affect the business. So now you have multiple people being negatively impacted because of this burnout cycle. So if you are approaching burnout or your employees are approaching burnout, there are things you can do. And sometimes that's time off. Sometimes that's altering the work environment, the style of work, being sure that you are supporting them as a leader. Make sure that you are supported if you are the leader. And create open conversations about what that needs to look like. Expanding on that burnout, you can see here that burnout is higher for non-engaged employees. All right, let's break it down. Question: what would cause you to reduce your effort or hours at work? Be honest. Are you feeling overworked, under-inspired, under-led, or do you just have different priorities in life? No judgment here. It's just insight. Answer the question honestly. Create. What's one thing that you could change, small or just crazy and wild, that would increase your willingness to stay engaged and give your best every day? Think about different options like flexible schedules, dedicated focus time, better feedback loops with those that may be on the work chain above or below you. What else? A ping pong table. Answer the question as honestly as possible. Finally, inspire. If you knew that everyone on the team was doing their best to stay energized and present, how would that change the way that you show up? This isn't a push to hustle harder. It's a challenge to lead better, starting with yourself. What do you need? So the Gallup piece isn't really about working less, even though that is a piece of that puzzle. It's about people silently opting out. So engagement is a two-way street. Leadership sets the tone, creates the environment for communicating feedback loops. So we're creating the space worth engaging in. Think about that and maybe use this information in tomorrow's reflect, refocus, and recharge. See you tomorrow.